So welcome. In this session, we would focus on some of the important terms, contemporary in nature, important for your UGC psychology examination, and that are some of the terms related to terror psychology. Now, the first term here is radicalization. Now, as the name suggests, it is a process where an individual or a group gets into an extreme form, and this extreme form could be political, social, religious affiliations, or any other basis by which they shift to extreme form of violence. So this is what is called as radicalization. Now, as a result of radicalization, what happens is dehumanization. That is, they do not have any empathy for the victims, and this is what perpetuates their violence activities. The next is polarization. Now, this polarization is, if you want to exist into a group, you have to work with the ideologies of those group, and this is what is called as a echo chamber effect, because what you say would be heard loud by the group that you belong to, and everyone in the group would follow the same ideology, the same path, and same violent reactions to a phenomena. Now, as a result, what would happen? There would be an identity fusion. That means you won't be able to understand what you actually feel, and this is an extreme form of self-sacrificed behavior, because an individual identity is no more left. They are fully dwelled into what the group believes, or what that echo chamber effect has created for them, right? So this is what is identity fusion. We have understood the next term as well. Now, cognitive restructuring. Now, this restructuring is where the person is involved, let's say, in a terrorist activity, and everything that they do, they would try to justify it for a cause, and therefore they restructure their understanding of the complete phenomena. So whatever harm they do, whatever injustice they do, whatever harm the victims face, they would feel that that is part of their greater goal, and therefore they have restructured their thought process in a certain manner. So this is what is called as cognitive restructuring in relation to terror psychology. Then morally, they are no more engaged. They have totally disengaged themselves, and they don't have any feeling of distress, or any feeling of guilt, or any bad feeling associated to the harms they are committing. So this is disengaging morally. So once you are morally disengaged, you can go on to any extreme, and this could lead to further radicalization, right? The next is relative deprivation. Now, this suggests that when there is absolute poverty, rather I would say this is a way where unfairly disadvantaged group people feel that because of certain disadvantage they are into this position, and they need to fight for a cause, and this is one of the cause that leads them into terror activities or help them engage into violence activities. So this is one of the reasons for imbibing the idea of terror psychology. The sacred values. Now, here the sacred values do not relate to a religion or something, but these relate to the terror ideologies, where individual feels that the ideology they belong to are non-negotiable, they are inviolable, and whatever they do is a right decision. So they consider that as sacred and move forward, and ultimately this leads to what is dehumanization. Then the next one is terror management. Now, this is a very, very important theory. Once the terror activities start, what is the basis of terror management theory? Now, this theory actually creates awareness about existential anxiety. Now, this anxiety is where, from the different cultural views, or from the different aspects of life, an individual tries to achieve a self-esteem, and when they are facing a conflict in this situation, or they are being challenged, they come up with various self-defense, or we could say defensive reactions, and these are ultimately responsible for the anxiety, right? The last one that we would focus on today is narrative construction. Now, narrative construction is when a terror organization or a terror group creates a kind of narrative or a purpose or a sense of belongingness to that group, and that helps the other terrorists work forward in the same direction. So this is a narrative that is being constructed, and based on that narrative the other people would follow it. So it's very, very close to what we say the echo chamber effect, because once that narrative is there, it would echo and it would create a vibe for the others to follow the same path. So those are some of the important terms that we have discussed under the field of terror psychology. Indeed, terror psychology is also one of the very important topics in your UPSC mains examination as well. So we do provide content for NET as well as UPSC. UPSC terror psychology is indeed one of the important topics in your applied psychology section. So prepare well, study well, and of course in the comprehensive content you would see towards the end the applied psychology is covered, and you have a significant section which belongs to military, sports, psychology of terrorism, as you can see, and this would be very, very helpful to answer questions which are based on contemporary information. So wish you all the best. Thanks for joining in and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.